Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody in the Thrive Tribe. I'll just give you a couple of seconds to see if anybody jumps on. Now, I'm going to say excuse Penelope if she does bark in the middle of this live. She has this tendency of working with me in the office and she's completely quiet. Literally, I'm like working away, and she's just lies down there and she's good to go. And then as soon as I go live or I go on with a client, she's like, so yeah, so if you do hear her barking in the background, as always, just ignore it and I will shut the door. But she does like to, I do like to leave it open for her so she, as I literally just said that, she just literally walked in. So hopefully she behaves herself. Are you going to behave? Good. There you go. Honestly, it's like literally, I know her so well. Okay, Penelope, if you come in here, Mummy's doing a live, so you've got to be quiet. Do you want to say hello? Come in. Come in, say hello to everybody. Say good morning, everybody. Hi, everyone at the Thrive Tribe. Hello. Yes, that's you saying good morning, isn't it? Can I have kisses? And then you've got to go. Yes, good girl. Right, out you go now, Mum's got to do a live. Just look around for a bit. Okay, so I hope everyone is having a wonderful Saturday morning. It is 10 a.m. here in UK, as I know I have lots of different amazing go-getting women from all around the world, so that is fantastic. So if you do jump on, just give me a hi. So I'd love to see you if you want. If you're watching it live, give me a hashtag live, and if you're watching replay, hashtag replay. As I love to kind of see who jumps on, who watches, and also the best times to do this. Because I have a group full of women all around the world, I know that sometimes the times are not great, so that's why I'm trying to work out when the best time is to kind of do these. So that's why it's watching, see, live or replay gives me a good idea. So, today I wanted to do a video on my story. So exactly why I become a coach, who I was before, and also kind of, I'm a very real, honest, straight talking type of person, which I'm sure many of you are aware of with being in this group. I believe that to get the best from somebody is to be honest and to really push someone. That's what I like to do with my clients. If you're working with me, I don't want to just take your money and then just kind of see you dwaddle on. No. I want results. I want you to be the best version of yourself. So if that means me pushing you and kicking your ass, as many of my clients in here will say, that's exactly what I do. So to kind of give you an overview, and I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. I'll try and kind of not talk for hours, but it kind of starts many moons ago. Okay, so I, from a very young age of like 3 years old, I was absolutely obsessed with dancing. Like that's all I wanted to do was be a dancer. I knew from a young age, I begged my mum to go to stage school, and she finally gave in. So I went and absolutely loved it. So from the age of 3, I went to a stage school for like every Saturday, and then kind of as I grew up, I used to go more. So I was going to a point where I was 4 times a week, absolutely loved it. And then obviously when I went to secondary school, I was trying to manage my school work, because obviously I was doing my GCSEs, and I was dancing after school, and I was also on a swim team. So I had to kind of make a sacrifice then of what I wanted to give up, and it was never going to be dancing. Hi, I see people jump on, so just give me a hi so I know who you are, because it's not for some reason coming up with who everybody is. So yeah, so I absolutely loved dancing, gave it my absolute all, and then after I had done schooling, I went to college for it and studied performing arts, musical theatre, so dancing, acting, singing is what I absolutely loved. And then it was when I was 18, I auditioned to get into a London. So like, for example, we would go to college and then university. This is like this, but for dancers. I went and auditioned to get into a London, very prestigious school. It was a lot of money per year. So I was auditioning for a scholarship and I got it. So I got in on a 3-year scholarship. I was over, hello, hi Anna. Hi Jessica. So obviously I got in, but what happened was when at the age of 18, I was dancing and fell on my knee. So this is kind of where my injury started. I got rushed to hospital, and they told me that my L45S1 had snapped. So it cracked all around and it snapped. Now I'm lucky that it didn't completely snap, because obviously that could have been, you know, a lot worse. So, I mean, how serious it was, I then had to go in for major surgery. So obviously going in, having the major surgery, afterwards my surgeon said, you know, 18 I was, like this was my lifelong dream. So at the time when I had surgery, it would have been when I was 19. And he said, you need to give up dancing. You're never going to be able to dance. You know, you've had major surgery, you've had your disc replaced. That's never going to bend and be able to hold the stability that you had before and provide the movement and flexibility you had. So when I say I was devastated, it rocked my goddamn world. Now, I can talk very easily and open about this, but at the age of 19, when this was my dream, I didn't, you know, in school, I done well. I got really good results, but I had to work really hard for it. I wasn't just naturally really good at it. And also, I didn't have a plan B. I was just concentrating so much on the fact that I was going to be a professional dancer and this is what I was going to do for my life. When the teacher would say to me, what's your backup? I was like, I don't need a backup. I'm going to make it as a professional dancer. So I truly 1,000,000% believe this. And so when the surgeon said this to me, my life, it felt like at the age of 19, someone had literally took the rug from underneath me, and I was devastated. I was extremely low, very down. I cried every day. I could not see the light at the end of the tunnel. However much my family was saying to me, listen, maybe it wasn't meant to be, there'll be something else. I was like, you don't understand. You just don't understand what it feels like to be in this position. So I was mad, I was angry. So it took me a good while to kind of come out of the rock that I hid under for a long, long time. And then I was like, okay, so just because somebody's told me I can't do something, fair enough, he is a surgeon, he's qualified. It was a very serious thing that happened to my back, but I was like, let me just try. Let me just try to see if I could get back to doing, even if I didn't do it professionally and made a living from it, something that I just loved and gave me so much joy. So fast forward a year of not only working with the physical side of it, so I was trying everything, I had physiotherapy, but also I was working on my mindset. And that's extremely important. From the young age of 19, 20, I knew how important mindset was, and I knew that if I put my mind to something, I could do it. So we'll fast forward to a year of doing it, just over a year, and I was back dancing again. So, which a miracle you may call, fate, I'm not sure. I was just over the moon that I was in this position where I was like, yes, I knew I could do it, I knew I could. So I got back professionally dancing again. I was re-auditioning back again to go to the same stage school, well, college, university, and I was also working a part-time job at the same time, as well as going to auditions, training every day at Pineapples, really completely get my fitness back up. Now, being totally honest, I wasn't at the standard I was, but I knew I could get there. And I was driving back from work one day, and I had a massive car accident, and this snapped the disc above it, so L45 and L45S1. So back again in the same situation, but a year and a half, 2 years later. So then I had to go to hospital, A&E, and they said the same, you know, we need major surgery. So then again, I had to go in for more major surgery. Now don't forget, the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, scared, but didn't really know what to expect. Whereas this time, I knew the low points I was going to get to. I knew what it felt like when you had to be in hospital and wear a back brace for 9 months. I knew how lonely it would get when you're in the bed constantly and all you had was reading and YouTube clips. And I was absolutely, just a side note, obsessed with crocodiles. Because I had so much time on my hands, I would literally watch so much YouTube of crocodiles called Untamed and Uncut. I was absolutely obsessed. Oh God, what it turns you to, hey? So I knew what to expect, which kind of made me more sad, more apprehensive, but I didn't have a choice. I needed this surgery, otherwise if it was cracked so bad, if it snapped, I'd be paralysed. So there was no choice of me saying, I'm going to choose not to do this. So I went, but the positive on this was I had the hope of the first one being so successful. I had the hope of the surgeon, Dr. Lamb, saying to me, you won't be able to dance again, and I did. So I knew I can beat this once, I can beat this twice. So we fast forward to the surgery. The time for recovery took a lot longer this time. And at this point, I'm still young. I'm still late 20s. I think, yeah, late 20s. I was in my 20s. I think I was 20, back into 19, it must have been. So it happened at obviously a very young age, which in one respect is quite positive because you're vibing, you know, you've got so much energy and your body can recoup a lot faster. Now, this didn't go well. This surgery was not a success. They ran into complications, which then the surgery become even more of an emergency, and then they had to go in from the front. So literally when I woke up in the morning, I had a massive scar going down here, whereas the first time it was at the back. But this was because the disc was so, the crack was so near my spinal cord, it would have been too dangerous. So they went from the front. So not only did I wake up in the morning and I had scars all over my stomach, I also then got told that they wasn't sure if this was even a success. Now, let's go back to the first stop. The first stop, I had a 4% chance of being a success. 4% of it actually being a success and this working. I was in that 4%, okay? So it's literally like winning the lottery. That's like the percentages, if you compare them. So when this didn't happen, obviously I was in the 86%, sorry. So I was devastated. At this point, I knew that from the failed surgery, there was never a hope of me dancing again. Absolutely not. And they had to fuse the disc this time as well. So not only the first time they just replaced it with a titanium one, whereas this one, they actually had to fuse it. So I can't actually bend my back backwards like that. So obviously I can go forward, but I can't bend it back. So dancing was out, completely and utterly out. So I had to accept this situation at such a young age. All I've ever dreamt of doing is being a dancer. Gone. You're not being a dancer again. You have to accept this. So again, I went to a completely low part. I didn't really felt that anybody understood me, because how can anyone understand if you're not even going through what I'm going through? I was a real pity party, one of these ones that really felt sorry for themselves and hated the world. And if I saw a dancer, it would just break my heart. I couldn't talk about dancing. I couldn't talk about the operation. I was so mad at the world. The universe, basically, I wanted to do that too, because I was like, no. How dare you? Like, everything I've dreamt of, everything I've worked so hard for, everything that I have built my life up for, you've just taken away from me. So I had to go through that period of accepting, acknowledging, and this wasn't going to be my life anymore. So fast forward a long period where I was like, again, down, upset, so low. I can't even begin to tell you. Then I had to start thinking, okay, so what is my plan B now? What else am I good at? And obviously I went to stage school, so I was equally good at acting and singing, but dancing was a thing I knew. Singing I didn't have as much confidence in. So if you said to me, get up and dance in front of thousands of people, I'd be like, bosh, put music on, I'm good to go. Now, if you said to me, sing, I'd be like, oh, I think I need some practice, self-doubt. So long story short, I decided that I was going to go into a girl band. So I created a girl band and we worked extremely hard. We got ourselves a TV show and we found our third member and we got a record deal. So now I'm fast forwarding this. This didn't just happen overnight. This was a lot of hard work, dedication. So then that happened, which was fantastic. Now, all along, I still had a bad back. I could do certain things of the girl band, and I concentrated on what my forte was, which was organisation. I'm very motivated. I'm good at business. I'm confident with talking about things. Harmonies was something I really lacked in confidence, but I worked so hard on it. I loved writing music. So I concentrated on all the things I was really good at, but my back was still an ongoing problem. So I was still going to see the physio. I was still going to see as an outpatient, finding other solutions and ways that I could help. You know, this pain was every day. I was taking 200 milligrams of Oxycontin, which is a morphine-based drug. So it was, and it took a real effect on my life. I wasn't that young girl that could go out and just get drunk and not care of how she was kind of getting home, because I couldn't go out and drink, because then I would be like, okay, so if I drink, it means I can't take my painkillers, which means I need to write off tomorrow because I won't actually be able to get out of bed. So, or if I don't drink, I drive, but then I'll be in pain for the night, and you've still got to try and front it, and everyone's having a good night. So it was always that, and you know, you feel it's quite unjust, because you're like, I'm a young girl, and I used to look at these girls and kind of be of envy of them, thinking, wow, you're just so carefree, and you don't take drugs that literally space you out, and your memory goes, and you can't, you know, you don't feel who you're meant to be. So at the time of working extremely hard and signing the record deal, I then had found out I needed more surgery. The discs were continuing to degenerate. I needed to fuse the bottom part of the spine, and I also needed an in-space. So again, it rocked my world. I was like, really, God, universe, anything? I am really trying hard here to make it, and it to be something I really felt and loved, and you're taking this away from me again. Because I knew, listen, it's the music business. They're not going to wait for you. It doesn't matter who you are. It's not like I was Beyonce and needed some time off. So yeah, then I had to pull out of the girl band, which was extremely hard. And at this point, when we would do photo shoots, I'd always kind of get comments, oh, have you ever thought about modelling? I was like, no, because I'm not a size 0. I'm not that beautiful model looking type of girl. And it was something that always no, commercial modelling, you know, more for like, they call it in this industry plus size. When you're above a size 8, you're a plus size model. That's a whole nother story, another video of what my beliefs on that. But, so then I naturally, after surgery, more recoup, more time off, I then naturally started doing kind of some modelling. And then that kind of went into like full time, and I would do fitting modelling. So that kind of then took over my life for a long time, because I could choose when I wanted to work. Now, this wasn't easy. This wasn't me taking an easy route, because really, I can't, like, for example, the shoots I would do would be 8 hours of standing. That's extremely hard when you have degenerative disc disease. So it would always be a struggle. I'd always have to work on my mindset. I'd always have to say, okay, think positively, and then you have a good day. And I would always affirm that today would be a good day, and I won't have to do much and have to sit down. So it was always like a constant struggle, obviously still on a lot of medication. And I was always, from a young age, when I did go on the morphine, I was always dead sure that I wanted to come off this. I didn't like the way it felt, who it made me. And each time I did come down, you go on a reduction, which is hell. And for anybody that was in this group, oh no, it was actually on my page. I done a video, it was not this December, last December. The December just gone. I done live videos every day of what is in the life of basically coming down from morphine, which is hard, you know, it was hard to record, hard to be so honest, but my message to people is I'm an honest coach. I don't sit here and go, my life's perfect, that's why I'm so great and I have everything in my life and all my shit sorted. I sit here and go, I feel you. I know what it feels like to have your dream taken away from you. I know what it feels like to not have money and be skin. I know what it feels like to miss out. I know what it feels like to not know what the hell your purpose is. I know what it feels like to have your heart broken and have a boyfriend of 8 years steal from you. Like, I know what these troubles are. I know what it feels like to lose your dad at a very young age. I know what all this feels like. That's why I can be the coach I am. That's because I can resonate. I can say to you, aha, sister, like I know what that feels like. I know what you're going through. But I'm also proof that you can have all that done to you. Like, I am the coach I am today because of all the crap I have been through, 1,000,000%. At the time, do you see it as, oh, I'm really glad this is happening to me? Like, when my dad died, I didn't go, I'm really grateful this has happened because I know it's going to shape me and define who I am as a coach and as a person. And I'm really grateful that at least I still have my mum and sisters. Of course you don't. You're depressed, you're down, you're heartbroken, you're crying every day. But, you know, with time, you know, we're focusing on just getting through each day, one step at a time. I got there, and I now can see what's happened has definitely shaped me. And I'm also can look back at those times, for example, when I did have the breakup and, you know, the things he did, it took me a long time to get over it and forgive what had happened. But now I can truly and honestly say from my heart, I'm so grateful for everything he did, all the bad, all the ugly, because it's made me who I am. It made me know my worth. It made me sit down with a pen and paper and go, I know exactly what I don't want in a boyfriend because I've had him. But now I want to affirm and visualise and attract who I do want. And now I can hand on heart say I've married the man of my dreams. He is my best friend. He's my cheerleader. He's my soul person. He's someone I can have so much fun with, and he can be so silly and make me laugh from my belly. But he's also someone that can be there for me and go, listen, I know you're a bit down today. I know it's your dad's anniversary, or here's some flowers. Well done in your business, or whatever it is. But I had to go through that crap to get to this. Some people don't need to. I'm not saying everybody doesn't deserve the great life they have now because they haven't had it crap. That's just my life. That's just what's worked for me, and for me being able to spin all the crap that's happened in my life to make it more positive and made me the best coach there is. So kind of rewind from the modelling. When I was doing the modelling, and I was grateful for the job. I was grateful that I found something I could do. I was grateful for the pay. So I was extremely grateful for it, and I knew I was lucky. Even though I don't really like that word, but I knew I wanted more. And have you ever felt that feeling where you're doing a job and you're like, I should be really grateful, but I just don't feel happy. Like, I don't feel like this is my purpose. What am I serving? What am I changing in my life? I don't feel like me being a model within fashion is enough for me. It's not. It just wasn't. So that's then when I came up with the idea. So I'm talking so much. Hello to everybody else that's jumped on. Sorry, I haven't been reading who's been jumped on. I've been gassing so much. Okay, so yeah, back to the modelling. So then I felt I wanted more. And as I mentioned when I was in the girl band, I always loved the business side of things. So I was like, bingo, I'm going to have my own agency. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have my own agency because this makes sense. I know the modelling industry, I know models, and I know clients. Bing, bang, bosh. Also, I wanted the freedom. I didn't want to work the long hours anymore with my back. Even here, like I've got a special back chair. Even sitting for too long is too much. So I have to get out, I have to walk, I have to make sure I do my yoga, my meditation. I have to make sure that I'm trying all holistic treatments, which is a whole nother story. But if anybody does know some new holistic treatments, message me please. I will try anything that will help my back pain. But aside that, so then I started the business, and it was hard. Okay, I enjoyed the freedom of it. I enjoyed getting new models and train them up and teach them exactly, because I never got that going into the modelling industry. No one taught me what I should do, what I should say, how much I should be paid, kind of the rules and regulations, model etiquette, and none of that. So I decided I want to make a difference. I wanted to help people that didn't know about curving modelling to get into it, didn't know about fitting modelling to get into it, but also teach them how to be the best model they can be. And I always touched upon mindset. Within my course that I kind of done for models, I'd always teach them how to think and how to achieve. So it's really interesting how that kind of flowed into it, because I've always been into mindset, law of attraction, motivational speaking. I was obsessed with it. From a young age, I've always been into it. But as I've grown older, I literally live, eat and breathe anything to do with that kind of industry. I love it. Self-help, absolutely love it. Like, my whole bookshelf is full of all books. Like, these are all the books I've read, and these are all the books. I buy books and I haven't even read them yet, but I'll buy another one because they're on the to-do list to read. I never want to have enough books, enough reading and enough teaching myself. So that kind of flowed into the agency. Now, I never obviously knew how to run a business, but it was hard. Like, managing, not only just working on the business, but within the business. So doing what I actually want to do was actually get model bookings, but also running the account side of it, running models day to day, their diaries, their feelings, their thoughts, and when something bad was going on with their life. Also just the normal business side of things. Didn't know about running a business, VAT, tax, all this stuff. So I had to teach a lot of it myself. I'd spend hours on YouTube. I would read books on business, but it's so confusing. It's so confusing because then it's different opinions. One person saying this, don't do this, another person saying this. I felt overwhelmed a lot, and I didn't feel I had a hub where I could go to and kind of talk to other women within business and, are you struggling with this? I just didn't feel like I had that. So running a business can be quite lonely if you're not doing the things to make it not lonely. So I was working extremely hard, and the money just kind of wasn't coming in. I didn't think it was going to be as hard as what it is, and I've learned so many lessons now about business and kind of all the things. Hindsight's a fantastic thing, but looking back, all the things that I could have done better but I've learned so much from it. But and there's a lot of times probably why I could work so late into the night or get up so early, because I did enjoy it. There was elements of it I enjoyed, but I didn't still feel fulfilled, and that's the difference. You can enjoy what you do, but I didn't love it. I didn't absolutely love it. It didn't set a fire inside my stomach. And I was like, wow, why am I not happy? You know, I've gone part-time on modelling. Maybe it's the fact I'm struggling so much because obviously with my money going down with modelling part-time and pumping it more into the business, I then got myself into debt. And, you know, you keep telling yourself, oh, I'll get there, affirmations, I'll meditate more, I'll work harder, you know, I'll just keep pushing on. But I was literally working myself to a dog for literally like a dog and still not feeling fulfilled. So what I would do is I would just up the kind of self-care part, I'd up the self-development. And this is when I always, probably when people say I don't know, they do know. I've worked with a lot of clients, and when I ask questions they don't know, and I know exactly the right questions to ask to direct them to more to that, getting that answer, they do know. What it is fear. We're scared of putting ourselves out there. We're scared of saying, okay, you ask me a question, I'm scared of saying the answer, so I say, I don't know, protect myself. I'm like, oh, don't ask me any more questions. So kind of when I dug deep and thought, what is it you want? And I'd be like, I just want to help people be happy. That's in my head what I thought. I thought, for all the crap I've been through, wouldn't it be great if I could help other people? And I got sick of people saying to me, oh, it's okay for you. You can get through anything because you're just so positive and so strong. No, I have had to learn to become strong. I've had to grow in my positivity. I didn't just think, oh great, this has all happened to me, my life's so fantastic and I'm really happy, I'm positive. No, that's absolute, excuse the French, bullshit, okay? So it's not okay for me. And people judge because they don't know your story. That's why I wanted to come on and kind of show my story. Because yeah, I am positivity. Literally, I think positivity vibes ooze out of me. I am hyped. I do love what I do. I know I've got an amazing life and I've got an amazing husband, the best friends in the world. My family are awesome. I do something I love. I get paid for it. I work with amazing clients. I've got freedom. Like, I know I'm living my life. There's still obviously, there's always goals I want to more achieve. I'm not earning 6-7 figures a month, but I'm earning a lot more money than what I ever did. And I was doing something I love. Money flows to me in abundance now. But that doesn't mean that I haven't had those times where it hasn't. Trust me, I know what struggling feels like. I know what debt feels like. I know when you look at your credit card and you want to cry. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to have your heart broken. I know what it feels like to literally have your life taken away from you. Inverted commas, you know, what you feel like anyway. But I also know what it feels like to come out the other end. And that is my message. That is why I do what I do, because I'm like, listen, I got you. Like, I know it's hard. I know it's tough. I know you don't want to invest when you feel like you don't have the money. But doing it will change your life. I promise you that. If I didn't get with my coach, so some of you are aware of this part of the story, some of you not, so I'll kind of revisit it. So I then had a very honest and frank conversation with my husband, or it wasn't my husband at the time, it was boyfriend, and said to him, it was the same guy, by the way, it wasn't a boyfriend and then I just got a new husband, it's the same guy. I said to him, listen, he actually started it. He said, well, what's your goals for the year? You know, what do you want to kind of achieve? It was Christmas Day and we were driving to his family's side. We'd been with mine for the day and we were going to his. And he said to me, you know, for this hour-and-a-half journey, he's like, where do you see next year? You know, what are you thinking? I'm like, I'll be honest, I don't feel happy in what I'm doing. I don't feel fulfilled. It's not my purpose. And I feel like I want to be a coach. Silence. You know, when you're so scared because you've put yourself out there, you've actually finally said it to another human being. Because all this was going on here for ages. But it was just festering, basically, because I kept just patting it down. No, you wouldn't be good enough. You know, I don't even know if you can do this as a job. Who would pay you? You can't be a coach. Just do what you do. You know what you know. Just kind of stick in your little box, Natasha, pat down. And I had enough of it. And I was putting myself out there and I said it. And he said, finally. He said, finally, you've actually grown some balls and admitted it. And I was like, well, you knew? And he was like, of course I knew. The way you spoke about what it'd feel like to help somebody, oh, it's giving me actually shivers now. The way you talk about motivational speaking, the way you light up when you speak about Tony Robbins or Louise Hay, the way when you read a book and you run into the room and you're like, oh my God, did you know that da 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 da? The way, for example, when I see you when I'm not going through a great time and the way you help me through it, the way you listen, not just speak at me and give me your advice again, you're doing it wrong. The way you listen, the way you're able to direct our conversation so you're making me feel like I found the answers, not you. That is how I knew. And I was like, wow. And I was like, burst into tears, and I was like, but is this ridiculous? What people are going to think? I'm starting a new idea. You know, the other business didn't do too well, you know, and if I wasn't meant to be a dancer, I wasn't meant to be a singer, and now I'm modelling, and now it's the agency. And he's like, but now you're having a pity party. Now you're feeling sorry for yourself. All those things didn't happen for a reason, and maybe what if this is your reason? And he was like, have you done your research on like your qualifications and what you need to be a coach? And I was like, well, yes, actually. And I was like, but I don't have the money. And I was sobbing and crying. And I had to say to him, listen, can I borrow the money, please? Because I just feel like this is what I need. And he said, 1,000,000%, because I believe in you. And the fact you're taking a risk when you don't actually have the money. It's easy to do things when we know we can. It's easy to go to the gym when we're in the mood. It's easy to eat well when we're hyped up. It's easy to pay £300 for a day out when you've got the money. That's easy. That's not taking risk. What is not easy is taking a risk, is doing something when it's going to the gym when you do not feel like it. It's working till God knows what time, or getting up at 4:30 a.m. to start your day before you've actually then got to go to your job. It's that hustling that you do when your body, every part of you is telling you no. It's investing when you don't have the money and you are scared shitless. How will I pay this back? And it's funny, sorry, just a side note, I don't actually swear in my normal day-to-day life, but when I get passionate about something and when I'm talking with my clients and I'm like on a hype, I'm like, I start swearing. So I do apologise if Penelope's getting excited, because I am. I do apologise if you're around children. I'm really sorry, or your mums or dads. I'm really, really sorry. I don't normally swear, but I'm just hyped. I'm on one. So, okay, so I'm going off in tangents here. So, yes, so then what I did, I invested. I went on the course. I took the course. Amazing. And best thing I ever did. My coach was insane. She just blew my mind. So then after that, so this was all a qualification for me to become a life coach. So this is me nailing exactly how to coach people, because it's all well and good saying I want to become a life coach, but you're dealing with someone's life here. This isn't stuff that I take, this is serious stuff. So you need to make sure, and you know, there is that whole thing with life coaching that you don't actually need a qualification, you know. I'm not of that opinion. I'm that opinion that if you're going to do something, you need to master that task. You need to make sure that you are so good at it that you are changing lives. So that's why I would invest heavily into it. So after I'd done that, I then obviously qualified, came out, instantly started getting clients. And I was like, wow, like this actually, you know, this is what I'm meant to do. And I was loving life. But what I realised is I was still having self-doubt. I was still having, I was doing my affirmations, meditation. I was getting up every morning at 4:45. I was even still doing the agency work, as well as part-time modelling, as well as doing this. So I was working all the hours God sends. It meant sacrificing girls' nights. It's time with my fiance at the time. Family nights, which I'm a big... This is all part of who I am, is my girlfriends. I absolutely adore the floor they work on. It's my time with my now husband. It's my seeing my godchildren. It's seeing my family. That's all makes me who I am. But also what makes me who I am is coaching. That's why I love what I do. That is why I can do what I do for so long and get up so early and work so late, because I just love it. But anyway, I was sidetracked. Back to it. I still had to work on my mindset because I still had limiting beliefs. And what was frustrating was I was doing all what these YouTube clips say. Meditate, affirmations, you know, write down your story, believe and you will achieve. But I still had self-doubt, and I still felt that with regards to the business side, I had no idea. I didn't know what sales funnels were. I didn't know how to do a website, because when I'd done it with the agency, I paid somebody to do it. But I didn't know how it should work with regards to coaching, because it's completely different. I didn't know what it's like to have a Facebook group and how to interact. I didn't know sales funnels. There's so much to it. I just had no idea. The account side of it. The list is endless. Absolute content building, creating content, so much. So I was like, well, I need help. I do need help. I need to get a coach. Now at this point, don't forget, I'd already invested heavily borrowing money into becoming a coach. So now I still didn't, I didn't have that spare money, because every money I was having, I was pumping into the business. I was paying off, trying to get my debts down. So I didn't have a spare $5,000 to get a coach at all. But I watched one of these videos of my coach, and I was like, wow, I just need to speak to her. So we got on a call, absolutely loved her vibe. We really connected. I knew that she'd be able to help me. And then she said, oh, listen, my course is £5,000 to be in a group course. So it's in a group. So she sends the content out, you work on it, and then every week you have a group call within Skype, for example. So it wasn't one-on-one, but I just knew I needed it, but I didn't have the money. So instantly I back off and go, I haven't got the money, I don't really have the time right now. I was thinking of all the excuses you do, just wanting to get off the phone. Can I have a think about it? We all naturally do, because we come from a place of fear, so we just want to get away from the conversation. So I came off and I said, thank you, but I just can't afford it. And she was like, okay, no worries, it is what it is. On to the next one, she'll get plenty more clients. And I felt stuck. So, but what I decided to do was do it myself. So I upped researching things on YouTube, upped my reading, trying to research web pages, how to do this, how to do that, how to attract clients. Everybody says something different, by the way. Everybody tells you they've got the golden nuggets, yet none of it was working. And I couldn't understand why. And then I had to get real with myself and go, okay, if you want to stay in this same stuck position, right? If you want to stay if you want to stay struggling, if you want to stay sad and not feeling like, how come everybody else can have their dream life they want and I can't? Why can't I afford to have one-on-one massages every week to help my back? Why can't I afford to do all these holistic treatments that I want to try? Like there was one at the time, and it was using kind of a vibrations system, and it was like, it was £1,000, £1,200 to have these sessions of like 6, for example. I couldn't even consider it because I didn't have the money. Do you know how that made me feel when I'm like, I can't even help my own back pain because I can't afford to? Sorry girls, I can't do this because I can't afford to. I mean, I was just sick of saying I can't afford to, and I knew myself, I was then affirming more of it. I can't afford to do the coach. So then more money would come. I'd get a bill, I'd get a tax bill, all stuff would happen. So then I was like, right, you need to get real, Tash. If you're sick of this situation like you say you are, because everybody says how sick they are of their situation. I'm fed up with this relationship, but they stay. I'm fed up with being skint, but they remain skint. I'm bored of being in this job, but they stay in the job. That was me. I was saying everything I didn't want in my life, but I was staying within my life that attracted everything like that. So it didn't make sense. My limiting beliefs and the new beliefs that I wanted were just conflicting. I was so confused. And so I swallowed my pride, and I rang up my old coach and I said, I think it was like 2.5 months, that it wasn't long. Well, it felt like long. And I had to ring her back up and say, listen, let me just put this out there now. I still can't afford you, but I cannot afford to keep going the way I'm going. I can't. It's affecting my back, it's affecting my friendships, my relationship with my family, my fiance. Like, it's affecting this isn't just about me wanting to be a coach. This is affecting more of my life. It's stopping me from being able to do the things I should be able to do. Because and yeah, I would be on my #1 fan. You can do this, Tash, come on. But then I'd have all those limiting negative beliefs behind saying, don't think you can. And I was bigging myself up as a cheerleader, but on the other hand, I didn't believe in myself enough to invest. So I would say, I'm amazing at coaching, I'm this, I'm great, I'm gonna have that lifestyle I want. Yeah, I was going, oh, I can't afford to have the coach, because what happens if I actually fail? And what happens if I don't be able to afford to pay my credit card back? So I didn't really believe in myself then, because surely if I did believe in myself and I was practicing what I preach, I would have done it. So I had this wake-up call, rang her, said, I need to coach with you. I don't have the £5,000, but I goddamn will find it. So I said, give me 24 hours. I need to get my shit together and try and find this out. So I sat down and I worked out exactly how I could get this money. I worked out what I could sell on eBay. I worked out how much more work I could get from modelling, from the agency to cover it. I maxed out my credit card, and I was still short, I think, about £1,500 of the course money. So I then had to go back to my fiance and say to him, I know you've lent me this money and I know you believe in me, but I just need a little bit more, you know. And that took a lot of pride, because I'd come from a place where I didn't want to go back. I wanted to show him I could be a success before having to go back for more money. But I was also sick in the situation, and I knew if I kept going, nothing would have changed, because nothing changed in those 2 months. When I got off the phone to my coach and I said, I can't afford it, I'm going to do this on my own, and I tried for 2.5 months on my own, nothing changed. If anything, I got myself into more debt. I got myself into more struggles in regards to trying to I spent hours researching Facebook ads, hours upon days, when really what I should have done is actually invested the money sooner, and now I know all about Facebook ads, for example. So anyway, I then invested. He lent me the money, I put it down, I invested, and it was the best thing I goddamn done. It was the most scariest thing, because at this point now, I was owing my husband a lot more money, well, fiance at the time, and it was scary. I'm not going to lie. Of course investing is scary, but what I've learned now, years on, is as an entrepreneur, we invest all the time. And the more money you make, the more investments you make. Do you know, for example, a stat on Facebook ads is 1 times 10. So you see these coaches, for example, or in any business, you see entrepreneurs in general, and they're earning 100k, okay, for example, let's say a month. They're earning 100k a month. They are spending £10,000 a month on Facebook ads. So if I was to say to you, spend £10,000 on Facebook ads, I'm sure all of you would be like, oh my God, no, I can't spend that. But if I said to you, it's going to make you 100k. Now this isn't guaranteed, but these are the stats. 1 times your return on investment. You would do it 1,000,000%. So it's like the investment into Facebook ads. It's like investment into coaching. It's the investment in yourself. How much do you believe in yourself? But more importantly, how much do you want to change? Because we can all plod along in jobs we're not happy with, in relationships we're not happy with. We can all look at people on YouTube, on Facebook, on social media and go, what it'd be like to have their life, and they have that because they're different and they're more special, or they had more money to start with. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit excuses. So you might as well rip up that page of bullshitness and start afresh and go, how bad do you want this? Because I look up on my vision board and I'm like, bosh, yep, tick, I'm going to do that. I'm going to travel there. I will have that, and I will make myself a success. And I look back on my old vision boards, I'm like, bosh, tick, 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 tick. I've done it all. Why? Because I took action. I invested when I didn't have the money, but it has paid off. And that feeling when you've made that big investment and you're on the program or the course or whatever you invest into, and you finish, and even actually I got my first client while I was still doing my program, as in, for example, my high paying. So when I created a new program and got rid of my limiting beliefs of what I should be charging and what I shouldn't, and kind of up-leveled my life, that feeling of being able to pay, you know, the money back is the best feeling in the world. And that's what you need to hold on to. If you believe in yourself enough, you will get there. So that's kind of brought me to where I am today. I do what I absolutely love to do. I'm so happy in my life. I have the most amazing husband, family, mum and 2 sisters, the most amazing best friends, godchildren. I have a great life and I'm extremely happy. Yes, I still have crap times. Yes, there's elements of my life that I still want to improve, like my back, which I am working on. So there's always room for improvement. But if I was to compare my life to back then to now, game changer, absolute game changer. Absolute game changer. And that's why I wanted to share my story. So I know I've spoke for about 45 minutes while I can talk. But if you take anything from this video, anything at all, I want you to take from it, you can do it. Because if I can do it, there is nothing different between me and you, honey. There is nothing more special than me. I wasn't born with more money than you. I wasn't born with more of a positive attitude than you. I didn't have less crap happen to me than it has to happen to you. Life is unfair and very crap at times, but it's about not staying there and growing with it, moving on from it and defining who you are, making yourself and having that life that you dream and deserve of. Because you have been through the crap, so why not make it worth it? And that is what my message is. So I hope you've enjoyed my story. Wow, I've spoken for so long. So I just want to say hello for everybody that's still on and kept going for the 45 minutes. I hope you all have a fantastic Saturday and I hope you've enjoyed my story. Much love and light. Bye. Put my glasses on.